And the funding specifically supports the cost to establish a scout unit. So the first step in this process is the youth and any parent that wants to participate would basically become a registered member of the Heart of New England Council and the Boy Scouts of America. That normally would come with a cost associated with it, but the grant has provided that all those costs to register and insurance and everything else be covered. So that's the first key step. The second is the cost to support a scouting unit over the course of the summer. And there are a variety of things associated with that. And once again, as participants, you don't even have to worry about that. And then the centerpiece of the funding supports a 1-week experience at summer camp. It can be an overnight experience for 7 days, 6 nights. But if participants feel more comfortable coming in during the day and then going back home at night, that's something that we can work out as well. So there is some ability to flex that, but it would be, it would cover the cost to attend summer camp. So the accommodation, the meals, it covers some basic camping necessities. So you wouldn't have to go out and purchase things like a tent or a sleeping bag, mosquito nets, flashlights, things like that. You would be responsible for bringing your personal items and personal effects and things like that. And then some enhancements that we're going to be making to our camp as well. So, yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of kind of what the funding supports. And I guess I really just want to conclude by saying that collectively, we're all very, very excited about this opportunity. We feel like it's a wonderful chance to highlight the camp experience for youth and give them an opportunity to really, try some new things, experience some new things. I should say the grant does support a family member to attend camp with the youth as well. So that would be included. So that's important to note. As a parent or a guardian, if you wanted to come and be there for the whole week with your child, you can certainly do that as well. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I'll turn it back to Bill, unless anyone has any specific questions about kind of how the funding came to be.
Well, seeing none, thank you, Patrick. Greatly appreciate it. Just to give you a little bit of background about what scouting is, and we officially as an organization we're the Boy Scouts of America, but yet we've recently changed our program. It's been about 4 years now that we've actually been co-educational, so boys and girls from as young as age 5 all the way till 18 and beyond. So we support young men and young women in a variety of programs throughout central Massachusetts as the Heart of New England Council. But really the centerpiece, what we're talking about is our Scouts Bsa program. And what that does is provide an opportunity for young people to learn citizenship, character, leadership skills, independence, as well as we do that in an outdoor program that's active and available and safe, most importantly. So one of the things that I love about our organization is we give an opportunity for young people to do things that they may not else have had an opportunity to do or try, and doing it in a safe manner that is hopefully going to build some helpfulness and trustworthy. And we have a set of principles, Scout Oath and Law, that guide what we do, but really wanted to give an opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing. To try to be able to help out as much as possible. And this program is going to be ongoing. We talked about the summer camp experience being the key piece, but we really like to see this continue on to the fall, winter, and then continue on if, as much as folks would like to participate. So even though, we are the Boy Scouts of America and you say, oh, wait a minute, but we are serving young men and young women. So I don't know if there's any specific questions about the organization. As a whole, Patrick mentioned our creation of a scout unit. What that basically means is that gives us the organization to ongoing participate in the program and continue this through the school year, through the fall and winter, and so on and so forth on an ongoing basis, and continue to have more fun and do more activities. There are 134 different merit badge programs that youth have exposure to and participation and those are achievements that folks can earn directly that week at summer camp and we'll be recognized at the end of the week with those achievements. So there's an instant recognition component to this as well that we feel is very important. I just want to leave off with a mention of, before I turn things over to Kelly. Tufts University, right in our own backyard, did a study a few years ago that talked about the benefits of scouting, and they took what they discovered was scouting will help young people with the helpfulness, hopefulness, all of those type of things that we want our youth to have these days. So with that said, we want to do that. And then, so what I'd like to do now is have Kelly say a few words about the camp itself and what it has to offer, and then we'll keep going. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Look, I actually unmuted myself. Wow, we're already starting off better than I thought. So, so I'm Kelly Stickney. I have been in scouting for nearly 14 years with my troop in Douglas. I have an Eagle Scout and I have one Eagle on the way. So you can say that I'm pretty dedicated to the program. Both my sons work at camp with us, so it's a family affair. And I really am just really excited to have your potential scouts come and spend a week with us, because it really is a special, surreal time in the scouting year for all the kids, right? So, throughout scouting, they go to their meetings and they do their camp outs. And then the culmination is going to summer camp during the summer. And you basically, you're going to come as a group. We're going to check you in. We're going to get everything that you need to get done. We have a great med team, that takes care of everybody. We have an amazing staff. We have a staff of 50 youth and one old person. That's me for the most part. But and the youth range in age from 15 to 21, and they are the most dedicated, energetic people that you're going to meet, and they make the program fun. I mean, we plan fun things, but you're going to love our staff. They're really good with everybody, and they really want everybody to succeed. So I'm really excited for you guys to meet them. We're going to get you singing and dancing and doing skits and open mic night, and we're going to get you doing things you never thought that you'd do, but we are going to give you a lot of fun. So basically, your group will be a scout unit, like the other units that will be there. And again, we'll make any accommodations that you need. You can come, and as long as you check in and out throughout the day, we know when you're in and out of camp, we can, like, Pat and Bill said, we can be really flexible with that, because we really want to get as many, of your youth out there as possible to join us for the summer. We have different areas of camp. We have the waterfront, where you can do boating and swimming and kayaking, all that good stuff. We have handicraft, where you can make really cool things like leather, goods and basket weaving, woodworking, anything you can think of there. We have, we have our scout craft, where you can learn a bunch of outdoor skills. We have a first-year camper program. So pretty much all of you guys, I recommend, would join a first-year camper program, and we would start to teach you all the basic things that scouts learn. And it's a really good program. My son Connor happens to be in that group, so you're going to love him. We have shooting sports. We have, which is kind of self-explanatory. So you're going to get to, shoot some guns, and there's the archery range. And our econ department for all you kids that like environmental science and everything that goes along with ecology and conservation. So there's a little bit of something for everybody that you're interested in. You can take merit badges from as simple as fingerprinting, all the way up, to different ones, all kinds of shooting sports. We're going to send you a list, and you can literally look through the list, pick out whatever that you want to do, and we can make accommodations for anything that you would need. So I'm really excited about this opportunity to serve you, and our staff is looking forward to meeting you all. And does anyone have any questions while I'm here on the call?
How much, do you know how much like it's gonna be until, like, the cost of it?
So the beauty of it is, yeah, the beauty of it is you do not have to worry about the cost, Karina. So it's all going to be.
Oh, no,
taken
I know.
care of.
Yeah,
No, it's not her.
Yeah.
Look out
Yeah.
for me. I didn't even ask that question.
All right. So quite frankly,
really have
you
it.
know, we do suggest that you bring some spending money because we have a really cool trading post. Okay.
Yeah.
With lots of good stuff
Yeah.
in there. So
I
that would
bring
be,
spending money.
yeah, you need to bring your spending money and that's all you need to bring. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of great stuff, toys. Yeah, tons of stuff that you're going to want to buy. So.
And-
Yeah.
I have a question that
Sure.
kind of pertains to Karina. So as far as the age group, because she's 20 years old, you
Okay.
said it was 15 to 21, is that correct? Or is that for? the
It's
Scouts?
11. So for this program, it's 11 to 18.
Oh, so
Right.
is she
But-
not eligible?
No, no.
With special needs, there is no age limit.
Correct.
She's fine.
Yep, she's fine. Yep, we will take
Oh,
her through
okay.
yep, she's totally fine. And she's going to participate in the program. We're going to put her in, you know, the first year camper program, you know, and give her a couple merit badges to go to. So she'll be totally fine.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
'cause
good.
that was my question. I thought it was like 11 to 21. She's 20 now, and we're just, want to make sure she gets in. And it sounds like a lot of fun for her, and
Yeah.
just to get out there and be involved and get away from the media devices that
Yeah.
kids are sitting on all day
Yeah.
long. So that type of thing. So. that's
Yeah,
a
and the
fun
really
part.
cool thing is what our scouts like. I was giving a tour to a unit who hadn't been out to our camp in a while, and they're coming this summer. And I was showing them the camp, and I heard them talking in the back how excited they were to come and just be able to go around the property and do what they want to do. They can go to the trading post, go to the badges that they want. It's kind of like, a surreal little experience where you're in a safe environment and you can do whatever you'd like to do, so yeah, it's a really cool opportunity. So our property is yours for the week, pretty much.
And Tanya's actually seen the property and been there, and she's toured it with me. And that's one of the other great things about this is we're going to invite everyone to come out on June 30th, which is a Thursday, from 5:30 to 7:30 to visit Treasure Valley in Rutland. We're going to feed everybody dinner, so you get an opportunity to taste the food, because ultimately, everyone wants to know, is the food good? But it's phenomenal, trust me. I didn't get to be this way without eating camp food, trust me. So anyway, so that's really important. So we are recording this for folks that Tanya will be able to share. But the next step, if you will, after this, for everyone who is interested, or even if they're not quite sold just yet, is to come visit Treasure Valley on June 30th, which is, in a couple weeks, to see the camp. We'll tour folks around, be able to give people an opportunity, like I said, to ask questions, and we'll go from there. We'll have some more specific action items as we move forward. The one thing we haven't talked about is, when is camp? And I think it's important to note camp will start, or maybe we did, it's July 31st. So that will give us roughly a month after the 30th to kind of square some things away, and make sure that we have all the required paperwork for the state of Massachusetts for medical forms and things like that. So I do know that our CEO would like to say a few words. So Mark, if you want to take a moment now, I greatly appreciate you
Sure.
being here with us.
Sure, and as has been pointed out, we really are thrilled to have your kids come out and join us for summer camp. And we want to extend this more than just a week at camp, because scouting offers so much for everybody, and we can really tailor everything to be at the scouts' own pace. So even at summer camp, if they're taking a merit badge, and you know what, if they don't finish it, that's okay. They can do that later on. They can work at their own pace. And we're not going to ask your scouts to go swimming or whatever if that's what they're not comfortable with. We're going to find what they're comfortable with. If we need to modify certain requirements, modify activities, we can do that, absolutely. So don't get nervous about shooting sports. We're not going to hand them 22s and say, go shoot. But if they're comfortable with doing archery, if they want to shoot, if they're comfortable doing it, it's very safe. But safety is our number one concern, and then fitting the activity to their ability. And while we want them to be challenged and to be learning new things, we're not going to ask them to do things you feel they're not comfortable or shouldn't do. So don't worry about that. I'd also suggest, Kelly, that maybe we invite you to come out during summer camp so you can see the dining hall. I know a lot of some special needs youth, with sensory issues, they may not be good with the noise in the dining hall. And if they can accommodate, we can show you what we have, what a typical day would look like. Kelly, who is that? That's not your husband. So if we can show you what a typical day looks like and make you and your scout more comfortable, that's what we're willing and wanting to do. We're adaptive. We really truly want to serve your scouts. And what's really great too is we're not only working with your scouts, but we're showing all the other scouts. They're learning from each of you and from our staff working with them. So it's a wonderful experience both ways, and we're just so excited to have you coming. So anyways, come out on the 30th, I guess, is the tour camp, and we'll also talk about coming out during summer camp, which starts then, I think, the 1st, right, Kelly?
Starts officially July 3rd, campers come in.
So maybe the week before or 2 weeks before, we can come up with a time. If you want to come out and tour camp while it's in operation, come out for a lunch, you'll get the feel of what we're doing. Again, we want everyone to be comfortable. As Kelly mentioned, if they need to go home at night, if they don't want to come until noon, we can make it work. So again, we appreciate and look forward to serving you and your scouts. But anyways, that's all I've got. Just say welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Greatly appreciate it. And Tanya, I didn't know if you wanted to share some of your thoughts on the camp itself and the benefits that you might see for the group, and as you move forward and looking forward to getting things going in a meaningful way.
Absolutely. Well, I can definitely say that the grounds are breathtaking. I went out to visit Bill, and how many acres is it?
1,600 acres.
How much?
1,600.
Yeah, it's a big place. There's lots of room for students to move around and have fun, and plenty of space if you need a break from the noise and the sound. Like Mark was saying, we will have, calm spaces available for campers that need it. I also think that it's a perfect time to many of the campers that we support may have specific communication and social skills goals on their school IEP or with their home program, independence goals, activities of daily living. And this is just a wonderful way to, have fun and work on those goals at the same time. I think as well, it was very strategic and excellent that the Scouts picked this week to invite us to the camp and offer us this amazing opportunity at no cost to the families, because there will be typical peers there as well. But it's a week that there's not as many campers, so it's not going to be as overwhelming for our kiddos to be able to participate and have fun. And like folks were saying earlier, we all learn from each other. So it creates awareness for campers that may not have been exposed to some of, our kids and their specific, needs, but it also helps, our campers learn from their peers and, work on those, communication skills and social skills. Just provides awareness and acceptance all around. So there's definite beauty in that. Additionally, I think parents will probably find it beneficial to know that I am going to be providing a staff training to all of the camp staff before that week of camp, to just make sure that they're aware of, our campers and their needs and how to support them appropriately so that they can have a really great experience, providing positive behavior supports, positive redirection, and just knowing, how to make sure everyone has, the highest quality of camp time. So I will be providing that staff training to everyone as well too, which I think parents will probably be happy to hear. So it's just an awesome opportunity. I know it might sound too good to be true. You know, you're telling me that my child can come to camp for a week for free overnight if they want, with me or with a staff, but it's all true. We've, you know, made it happen here with this partnership, and I'm just so excited. So feel free to reach out to me with more questions or concerns. I will be sharing this video with families as well, you know, that couldn't make it tonight, because I know there's many that are interested. And then we'll be following up, like Bill said, with next steps. I encourage you to come see the grounds. I'll be sure to be there too, and take, you know, video. So families that, you know, can't make it, you know, we can possibly, maybe I can do a sit down with Bill and kind of ask some questions and do a little interview that we can share as well, along with, you know, everyone seeing the grounds. But I think that pretty much sums it up. Does anyone have any other specific questions or concerns? I'm trying to think of what my other families would be asking right now. And I think we've covered most everything. Siblings are allowed to attend. What age group is it, Bill?
11 to 18.
Right.
You know, and we can make accommodations if there are older siblings who want to attend as well. So that's the beautiful thing about this. We do have some wiggle room in terms of support for the camper, depending on what their needs are, whether that be, you know, full-time staff or parent, guardian, or older siblings. So there are some things that will be required of those parents and guardians and staff. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts has some requirements around criminal offender record and sexual offender record checks. But that'll all be covered by us in terms of cost and whatnot, and the cost of registration. We have some things that we'll work through with the parents and guardians just to make sure we keep everyone safe, and they're aware of some of the emergency procedures that operate in the camp. Because as it was mentioned, you know, we'll have a camp full of about 200 young people, including this group. So there will be things that ultimately will come up. In case of inclement weather, where do you go? In case of this, what happens? Oh, I hear this sound happening, this emergency signal. What do I need to do? And we want to make sure that, you know, as Mark said, safety is our number one concern. And so with that being said, you know, we'll have some of that briefing available for folks. So yeah, I'm super excited.
I would add, Bill, is for siblings, a younger sibling under 11, while they could come out, unfortunately, there'd be things that they would not be able to do because of the age requirements.
Right.
So they couldn't do shooting sports and some of the activities that age requirements would mandate that they're older. But I mean, if an 8-year-old wanted to come out and be with the parent and the scout, we could accommodate that, but they may not be able to participate in a lot of the activities.
Right.
That's an exception.
So awesome. Okay.
I did think of a question that some parents may want to know. What is your staff to camper ratio? Like, for how many campers is there one staff?
Great question. So as Kelly mentioned earlier, we have a summer camp staff of about 50. So when you look at that week is going to be roughly around 200 folks in camp. That'll be a staff to camper ratio about 4 to 1. Now, I also want to add that units will come, as this unit will, with parent volunteers, with other leaders. We call them volunteer leaders. They are volunteers who are there. So that just enhances our paid camp staff. So everyone is a leader who's not a participant. So I guess the question comes down to is, you know, what is their role in that respect? So I'd like to think that we operate, you know, we are mandated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and the Boy Scouts have certain standards as the number of staff to the number of campers. So we're well under that standard. So yeah, so they're generally speaking about 4 to 1.
But
Yeah,
the role of the parent, the leader, the unit leaders, and each of you coming out, you're responsible for your camper. So,
Right.
so just so they know that, you know, your camper can't just to wander off. The leadership, you would need to be responsible for that camper.
So, right. So you're saying, Mark, that like if a parent came or a staff came with that camper, they wouldn't really be in that 3-to-1 ratio. They would be 1-to-1 with the caregiver.
Right, right.
Correct.
Right, and for that week, I know at this point, we have less than 150 youth that will
Oh.
be participating. So when Bill's talking, yes, so the 200, so it'll probably be up with the leaders and the staff will be over 200, but the actual scouts that will be there will be less than 150, not including your group. So it will be an even
Wow.
smaller ratio that the staff will have, with the scouts. So it's really going to be a good week, and I'm excited for you to come out because, we get kids, that have these, that could benefit from our staff, knowing and you training us for the summer. So I'm very much looking forward because, we have kids with special needs all throughout all the weeks, not just your week. So it's going to
Very
be
true.
quite an enhancement to our program. So
That's wonderful to hear. That's
Mhm.
wonderful to hear. Can you talk a little bit more for parents about the nursing staff that you have on, on site, and for those parents that might have children that need medications, that kind of thing?
I can. So this year we have a very full health officer team. So we have Michaela, and she's going to be our head health officer. And she's going to be in charge of everybody. So during the camp, we will always have 2 people. So it'll be Michaela and we have Sebastian or Jay. And Sebastian and Jay are paramedics, and Michaela is an LPN. So she will be in charge of meds. And so basically, it's really important that, and we're going to talk about all this with the specifics. So you're going to be asked to fill out a health form. It's many pages, but it must be done, unfortunately. And then it's really important, the sooner you have those health forms, to give them to us, the sooner we can look through them. And that way, when your group comes, they can literally just hand us the medication with the authorization to administer forms in it, and we can, have you on your way. So as part of check-in, we make sure that all the meds are in the right containers. We set up the times. We do meds at morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All the meds are handed out right at all the meals under the big tent in the lodge right next to the big tent. So nobody has to travel far. And then we have a separate health lodge that is kind of away from the tent, but that's where everybody will be when there's not a meal. So if anyone needs anything, we can get you up to the health lodge. And there's different rooms. There's an isolation room if need be. It's where you can get comfortable if you need to take a nap and just lay down and get out of the heat. And somebody will be on call around the clock for your children. So you do not have to worry about that. So.
Now, thank you, Kelly. That was great. I think that'll ease parents' minds. Going back to the campers and the ratio, if a camper was, deemed able to attend on their own without a parent or staff, is that also allowed, or do they have to come with a parent or staff?
So I'm going to let Bill so basically, yes, if they can come alone, then, and that's fine, and I guess it depends on what their needs are. So our scouts, for the most part, they come, and a lot of them, even with special needs, come without a parent during the other weeks of program, and the scoutmasters, I have, scouts with special needs in my unit, and we know what needs to be done. Like, we know that Ethan cannot handle the loudness under the tent, and we make accommodations for that. And the leaders in general, for other scout troops, really kind of have a pulse on what's going on and what's good for their scouts. Yeah, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought.
So to answer the question, so for our perspective, like I said, I share with you, Tanya, working very hard to have Erin Donlin, who is one of our first female Eagle Scouts and a champion of special needs scouting. Her brother Cole has Williams syndrome and is actively participating in scouting here in the city of Fitchburg in Troop 17. She is studying in the Human Services program at Fitchburg State, and really has her life's passion to work with scouts with special needs. So we're working very hard to have her available. So if there are campers who can come without staff or a parent, to have them kind of, she quote will be their chaperone, but ultimately it is best if they can have somebody at least part of the time be there with them, just to check in. And even if it's just to check in, it's an opportunity where they can get, to and fro during the day, but right before dinner, come and check in, have dinner, not necessarily have to stay. That's perfectly fine as well. And we could talk more and more on a case-by-case basis as things progress, as we get closer to camp, and as we actually look at specific needs of each individual camper to make sure that we're meeting those as they relate to their IEP or any other type of plan they may have for their well-being and education and so forth. So, yeah.
During the camp program, I mean, we talked about, can they go alone? We have a buddy system, so no scout ever is there by themselves. So possibly we could pair up one of your campers with another scout going to the same location, and they can go together and be a team, because we don't allow single scouts to wander the property. It's always with a buddy. So we'll make sure that happens too. We have to pair them up with somebody else. It'd be great.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up with that. Like, so they need to have a buddy. So if one of the scouts is alone, but they're buddied up with somebody that has an adult with them, and the adult could make sure that they make it to their merit badge classes. And, so that would be a win-win as well,
And just real quick, I know we only have like a few minutes, but can you just tell me a little bit about the tents, like, what it would look like for campers that do stay overnight?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of the exciting things. So when we talk about some of the enhancements, and we'll have it there on the 30th. But our campers stay in what is called it's a 9x9 wall tent. So essentially, it looks like it's a tent on a frame, and inside are 2 cots. As part of the program, we're going to be providing everyone with a mosquito netting. Or some sort of device to ensure that they don't get eaten by bugs in the middle of the night. We'll also have a sleeping bag and a pillow that we're going to provide, as well as some battery-powered lanterns so that you can have light inside of the tent. Now, these are things that we don't typically provide for our campers. They'll bring them on their own. But seeing how everyone is just getting into the organization and in scouting right now, right before summer camp, we want to make sure that you have those basic needs met. I can tell you there's nothing worse than getting eaten by mosquitoes the first night. It just makes for we don't have any mosquitoes.
Zero.
I don't know.
Wishful
I'm not,
thinking. Anyway,
we have a few. I'm going to say we have a few mosquitoes.
So with that being said, so it's a 9x9 wall tent with a cot in it. Two campers per tent. Now we do have certain regulations around who can be in what tent. Obviously, campers who come with a biological or a guardian of some sort can stay in the tent with that guardian. If you come, and there are other specific age requirements and gender requirements that will dictate how that goes about. We do have a rule that no one who is more than 3 years older than another scout can tent. People can tent by themselves too. We have plenty of room. So if there's someone who says, you know what, I just want my own space and my own opportunity, that's fine too. Whatever the accommodation needs to be, we're more than happy to make it. So
yeah, as it gets closer, I think we'll work out the tenting arrangements.
Absolutely.
And requirements, because there are some requirements, but it's all based around safety.
And Tanya, in your program guide that Bill sent you, so there is a section on how it looks in a campsite, and there's a latrine, where you can wash your hands, there's running water, there's a picture of the tents and what the cots look like. So that's all in there. If you care
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So if you care to screenshot it, you can share it with all the parents, or just share the program guide with all of them, because it's a lot of good information in there.
Yeah, I absolutely will. And just one last thing to, my family's in the DESE program that are going to be watching this recording. If this all sounds really wonderful to you, but you're wondering how you're going to work out transportation, please reach out to me so we can problem solve together. I don't want that to be a reason anyone's not coming to camp. So, you know, we'll try to work on that together and, you know, see how how the ARC may be able to help. Okay.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank everyone so much. Tanya, thank you so much. We're looking forward to a great week at camp and absolutely meeting everyone in person on the 30th. There'll be more information coming out. So we're going to wrap things up and thank you and give you back the rest of your evening. Take
Thank
care.
you
Tanya,
much. Thank you
Tanya,
for-
just one more thing. So before that day, you know, if we can just get a little head count of how many people to expect. It doesn't have to be exact, but just a general number would be super helpful.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, before June 30th.
Before June 30th, yeah, maybe like a week out. And it doesn't have to be exact. I just need to let the chef know how many extra to cook for.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna create a flyer and like a RSVP for that, so I can absolutely let you know.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thanks, everybody. It was
All right,
nice to meet
thank
you.